Uh,
We're live as Christian Harris requests for a recorded intro because he just can't get over the shit of always having to do the live intro. Do you want something like, welcome to New Facts of Tubby podcast, where Christian, you want like one of those type of pre-recorded intros?
yeah, something like that, you know.
All right, well, let's back it up. We'll pretend it happened, and then here we go. We are live and everyone's hearing this, but that's what we do here. We're genuine. We're not, trying to be who we ain't. You know what I'm saying?
We're not pre-recorded.
We're not pre-recorded. We're real. All right, Christian, what's up? Tell us about like programs, swag, apparel, gear, all that. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, first thing you guys got to do is head over to movefastlift.com. From there, you can find out about the programs. You may find out about the swag. All things Move Fast Lift Heavy at movefastlift.com. We have a collection coming very soon. What up, Blaine? Got a collection coming very soon. This is going to be the first look at it here on the podcast. We haven't put anything out on the gram about it just yet. June, we typically do our Otis collection. It's a little homage, paying a little homage to the old Otis video, Jay-Z, Kanye video. You got the American flag in the background. So we usually do this around noon. Corey, what's going on, brother? How we doing? We usually do this around noon. Get your red, white, and blues in just in time for the 4th of July. And this is what we got coming for this year. Going to do a little red, white, and blue tie-dye. Going to do the bold tee that we've been doing, but on a red tank, red muscle tank. We've got the no smoke tee. We're doing this in a powder blue. That's actually a powder blue. It's not white, with a navy blue hit. We've got a new logo that we're going to be introducing here, more of our lifestyle type, more of a lifestyle type font. It says Move Fast Lift Heavy, and underneath it says training and lifestyle. Wear it in the gym, wear it out the gym. For the hat, we've got our Halo logo. We just did this one on a black snapback. We're putting it out on a navy blue. And then we've got our Halo tee in a cream color. Fresh.
Yeah. When's that come out? Tomorrow?
Sometime in June. We have this is the first look at it right now. It's the first look.
Ooh. All right, I feel so special getting to see it first with everybody else that's on YouTube right now. If you're not on our YouTube channel, we just dropped 2 vlogs yesterday and today recapping semifinals in Orlando, where Christian Harris and MFLH 247, Will Carter, Chloe David Gavin. Yeah, was that right?
Govin David.
Oh, Gavin David, not David. David?
She would kill me right now if she heard how we were pronouncing her name.
Gavin David? I'm about to do a 100 rupee penalty from Chloe because of that. Winter Nicolette Rodriguez, Will Carter, Chloe Gavin David. Oui.
That sounds good.
Sounds good. It's probably wrong. Any Canadians listening right now, hit us up. French Canadians, hit us up. Yeah, so let's jump in. Last week, Orlando, you guys played second. Congratulations. Obviously, have to mention MFLH 365. Valiant effort. A couple of things just didn't go their way, and that's how the cookie crumbled. Yeah, jump in. First thoughts off the top of your head last week.
Yeah, I feel really good about how everything went down on the 247 side. Again, 365. Unfortunate events in the weekend led to them not qualifying. Didn't really have a chance to debrief with anyone on how their weekend went on the 365 side. We'll be doing that within the next week or so. But 247 feels pretty good about how everything went down. We placed second, obviously, and it's kind of surprising to me how well we actually did with how much execution errors that we felt for ourselves in the weekend. There was a couple of events that we walked away from like, this didn't really feel that good. And already just watching our scores compared to Oceania, compared to North America West, our scores are actually really good. So again, that's another thing that just gets me really excited is that we're not firing on all cylinders and we have some cleaning up to do and we're still performing really well. So exciting stuff to look forward to in the next couple of weeks.
All right, so execution, not what you maybe wanted to be at all times. So is that going to be a focus going into your team training with the games? Just like, hey, because, I've been there. I've been around with you guys while you're training. And would you say now you're going to have a couple of more moments before you guys actually hit 10 seconds on the clock and say, yo, we're about to do this and we're about to do this for real? Like, all right, do you think you could do a better job these next 2 months at really like dialing that in?
Yeah, that's really exactly all it is just taking the extra second to remember that clean movement is going to be faster than fast but sloppy movement, right? It's not going to be worth the time and energy trying to move so fast that you are maybe missing the points performance in hitting clean reps. So definitely going to be focusing on that in the next couple months, weeks.
All right.
I
So
guess
anything,
months.
yeah, months. And we'll get to that in a second because I think that's a huge factor as far as preparation goes, unlike maybe some other years prepping for the games. From the semis, anything unexpected or anything that was put in front of you that you weren't expecting, kind of like maybe the sandbag double under thing or anything else throughout the weekend?
I think event one was definitely something that was just new. The whole concept of picking something different every round and switching the order and just like how some of the standards were within that workout, all the little nuances, trying to get things timed up from a pacing perspective on the machines compared to the sandbag and double under section. It was definitely a weird workout in my opinion, but obviously you had to be fit from an aerobic capacity standpoint, but then you also had to have kind of the nuts to go when things got tough, right? It's a grunt workout, dealing with that sandbag, dealing with the worm for that many reps. So that to me was one of the more weird workouts of the weekend.
Which workout hurt the worst?
Probably the dumbbell snatch box jump machine workout, just because you never really had a break and you were going really fast in terms of how you're performing your reps, trying to push on the machines, trying to push with the box jumps. Workout one did hurt as well, but it was just kind of like a muscular fatigue thing. It wasn't like heart pumping, chest pounding, that type of hurt. Like you just finished Fran and you're kind of laying on the floor. It wasn't like that. It was just like everything's bothering me right now.
All right, so while everything's bothering you, for our Train with CH athletes that you can check out on movefastheavy.com, how or what would you say to them when you're in the midst of a workout where mentally you're just like, F, everything is just annoying right now? How do you just push through that?
Depends on what the workout is, and
in this particular case with that semis workout, when you felt
the sandbag one.
Yeah, when you just said like everything was hurting you or aggravating you.
Whoa, you're talking about in the middle of the workout or after the workout?
No, in the middle. It wasn't like a Fran thing. It was just like everything was just kind of like nagging at you a little bit.
Yeah, so in that, it's kind of like you had 4 different tasks, right? It's just like get through this one task, and then we're we're on to the next thing. So for me, the one that sucked the most was the last sandbag hold. Coming, so I went from sandbag to worm right back into sandbag, and my lower back was just like completely lit. Um, Basically, I just tried to hold it as long as I could, and really when it started to suck, I tried to think about where Will was at on the double unders and tried to get him to like a nice even number. I think I ended up dropping it at about 100 reps. And then before I picked it up, I'm like, it only takes 30 seconds to do this next 50 reps of double unders. So when I pick this bag up, I only need to hold it for 30 seconds. 30 seconds and you're home free. And that's kind of what I was thinking about. Only 30 seconds. You could hold this bag for 30 seconds.
Got it. All right, another question, not in relation to that. Maybe fondest memory that wasn't on the floor. Whether it's like not fondest, could be anything like funny, some memorable moment that wasn't on the floor during semis.
Yeah, so event 3, it wasn't streamed. It I think a CrossFit podcast kind of did their own thing. It was Adrian Conway and Chase Ingram. They were kind of covering that portion of the event. And during it, Adrian interviewed my oldest son like during the event, like, oh, how's your dad doing? And what do you think of his performance? And that was kind of like a pretty wholesome moment. But then the funny part of it is he asked him, what would you say to your dad right now in the competition? And then you hear my mom in the background. She just like yells like, ah! It was just like super funny. If you guys go back and listen to it, it's like
Yeah.
one of those screams. It sounds like Marv from Home Alone.
You think she was screaming while watching you compete? Like she was reacting to something? Or she heard the question and screamed?
I don't know what she was thinking. But shout out to Mom. Thank you for being there. It's been a while since you've been to one of these things. So thanks for coming out. Love you.
Yeah, you've been at this, what? Has it been 10 years regionals? What was that first regional? Or semi?
My first regional was 2012.
Okay, so 11 years, or maybe it's like just over 10, who knows? But this one, how does it keep getting different from year to year as you're getting older and more seasoned and a veteran on the floor? Is it still the same, or you're not as affected maybe emotionally? How is it?
That's kind of a good point. Like, I guess I don't feel like I'm as affected emotionally because I've been there on the competition floor so many times. Don't get me wrong, I do still get the jitters. I do still get nervous before the workouts, but it's not something that stresses me out like it used to. Um, I would, I felt like I would get really bad anxiety, to be honest, before a lot of these events would start for the weekend. And that's kind of just not the case anymore. But, that comes with time. It comes with just all the experience from all the years.
Yeah, so with all these years, Blaine McConnell put in a little question about how you thought CrossFit executed the event from the behind the scenes with briefings, with warm-up area, with everything, organization, with programming. What was your overall feel for how the event went?
Overall, I think it was great. I mean, we could break this down into different sections or different categories. From a programming standpoint for teams, I thought it was a very good test of, how fit a team is. There's a couple of small things. If I was programming, I would have maybe changed. But I thought it was a great test overall.
What would that specifically be? What would you change?
So the clean ladder event, I just thought the way that the actual event is was a little bit weird in the sense that you had a minute to do max cleans at the lightest barbell, which wasn't light, but it was the lightest barbell. 2 minute rest, a minute to do max cleans at the next weight up, 2 minute rest, and then a minute to do max cleans at the heaviest bar, and then the event is over. So the event was scored for max total reps, no matter what weight it was that you were performing. So what ended up happening is this became really about who can move a light barbell really fast. And to me, I think what they were trying to test isn't what actually happened in that event. I think if they would have given maybe points, a 1 point value for the light bars, a 2 point value for the middle bars, and then a 3 point value for maybe the heavy bars, something where if you lift more or the heavier weight, you get rewarded for it. You didn't really get rewarded for that. It almost didn't matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my one test right there. That if I could have changed something, I would have changed it.
Okay, and looking at your own performance, looking at the performance of the teams around you, now getting a look at Oceania and North America West, this programming for the semis, as every year, is not reflective of what you will see at the games. You just can't replicate it because of the space, the outdoors, the amount of different equipment that you'll be able to use. Do you feel like where you placed and where the other teams around you placed is a true testament of what will happen if we were to just not thinking about we have a 2-month break, not thinking about any of that. If we were to re-rack it and do it right now, do you think the leaderboard would pretty much still shake out the same, or do you think it's going to be a different story because of the difference in programming at the games?
I think it'll be very similar. The leaderboards, I think, will be very similar. Like those top teams will still be towards the top. Um, I feel like our team is the type of team that thrives a little bit more in a game style setting. Um, you saw it from us in the Open and in quarterfinals. We weren't at the tippy top of the leaderboard. I think we're more built for in-person live competition and the more higher skilled odd object weird type things that happen in your in-person competitions. So I think at this stage, the way the leaderboard looks will be something similar to what we'll see at the games. Like those top teams will be towards the top, in my opinion.
All right, and going off something I said in the midst of my long-winded question about the 2-month hiatus, don't give up any of your secrets. We don't want to give up any advantages if we have them. But from a programming perspective, as you look to prep yourself and the team, how much do you think this 2-month break is going to either be an advantage or disadvantage to teams? Like in your mind as you're prepping, how is it easier than I'm thinking it is, or do you think that timing your peak is going to be a bit more complicated than in previous years?
It shouldn't be too difficult. We're about 8 weeks out, so most mesocycles tend to be about 6 to 8 weeks, and I think it'll time up perfectly with hitting a nice peak right into the games. So yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. I think the toughest thing is just like right now we're in the midst of figuring out scheduling wise what training camp weekends are going to look like with Chloe being from Canada. That's kind of the biggest obstacle that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, how was that? You touched on it on our YouTube blog that everyone listening, you can check those 2 episodes out right now on our YouTube channel, Move Fast Lift Heavy. How has that been? Will, you've been with for 3 years. This is our 2nd season now with Winter. Chloe stepping in this year. How's that been, just like forming a new bond between the 4 of you?
It's been great in the gym for the most part. She picks up on everything extremely quick. She's eager to learn, like, and especially in the beginning, she was eager to learn like how we go about making calls on the worm and so on and so forth. So she really kind of like submerged herself into our culture. The tough part is when we get together, all we're doing is training. So we don't really get much of bonding outside of the gym as a team, right? Because we have very, very limited time together. So most of that time is focused around training and being in the gym. Um, I'm looking forward to definitely getting together a lot more as we get into the games, just to kind of build up more of that camaraderie and just, you know, chemistry. You know what I mean? The times that we've spent, more than 2 or 3 days in a row together, it's been great. There's a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and just kind of looking forward to continuing that type of stuff as we head into the games. It's only going to help make us grow as a team.
Yeah, as the captain of the team and as you're prepping these next 8 weeks, do you think during your weekend training sessions you'll think to maybe quote unquote program in the off the floor bonding time? Maybe like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. I already have a couple of ideas. I want to get out to a Yankee game. I've got some tickets for us in July, like doing that kind of stuff. Maybe like last year we did bowling. Pickleball is big now. There's a pickleball court very close by. So doing stuff like that for sure will definitely help. Maybe hitting a couple bike rides or something.
All right, cool. I got 3 pickleball paddles, so I'll bring my paddles up. Y'all can use them if you don't have them. Yeah, so with the NBA season going on, I think it's extremely important that bond. And you see it with teams as well. The teams that do well, that aren't necessarily like top level games athlete, quote unquote, super teams. You have to think it's that camaraderie that they've built over the past however many seasons. Like AB CrossFit's really popping out to me right now. They just seemed like a tight unit family on the floor. That was really cool to watch.
Yeah, they're definitely a very good team. They've had good energy throughout the weekend. Their fan base was always popping. They were always yelling. It was fun to be a part of that, going against those guys.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the F1 t-shirt, the red t-shirt. You actually, in one of our YouTube vlogs, said that you purposely wore on day 3 because of Tiger Woods wearing red on the final day of whichever tour or whatever it is.
Yeah, when Tiger wore red on Sundays, you knew it was a wrap. Like, it was just killer mentality. Like, he always closed the deal, always finished the weekend strong. So that's kind of what we were going for with our Sunday but Saturday reds. But the design for that tee was inspired by just like F1, becoming very popular in the past couple of years. At least I didn't really follow F1 at all until I saw it on Netflix. And just taking some of those logos as inspiration, flipping it, and throwing it onto this tee.
Yeah. All right, so let's flip it to you. If you were to ask yourself a question, or like what from the semifinals or approaching the games would be something advantageous to share with the audience, or maybe our training members from Training OCH that we haven't covered already?
Yeah, I mean, Programming wise, what you can expect to see, obviously, games training is pretty high volume, but we're still going to be doing our touches on all of our normal strength work. We're still going to be hitting cardio parties. We're still doing our monostructural work. The only thing that's really different from this point forward, there's going to be more grunt work. The volume is going to go up from a Metcon standpoint, and you'll see a little bit more higher skill gymnastics programmed a bit more frequently. But it's all more of the same. The principles is still the same. It's just dosing it with what we need and expectations of the games.
Did you give that individual variation of the ring muscle up complex a ride? Did you try that?
I did not.
Good. I'm glad you didn't try it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple of people that have torn their pecs last week. I don't think they brought too much attention to that, but yeah. I will not be doing that unless I have to.
All right, so that was like something that some curveball tried to bring to the table. Team aspect, worm. Aside from the worm, what other like pieces of equipment are floating around the universe that you think could be implemented with a team where we haven't seen it in the past?
That we have not seen.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, what if it was like a big ass rope with some type of like weighted structure at the end, and it would take 4 people to like pull the rope at once, almost like a tug of war. But instead of another team on the other side, it's a huge ass sled of some sort, you know?
Like Big Bob?
Sure. Have they done that already?
They have.
Were you all on the same rope pulling?
It was it's like 2 guys on one rope, 2 girls on one rope, or some combination of that. They've done Big Bob rope pulls before. They've done pulling and pushing it. They've even done that one year with Fran. Do you remember that? It was like Fran with Big Bob pushing, and there was like a pull-up bar that was attached to the Big Bob, and they were doing pull-ups and shit.
Weren't they doing pull-ups as the sled was moving?
Yes.
Wow, Dave Castro pulling out all the stops in that. Yeah, no. The only reason
what a spectacle.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is just like from spectators' point of view. Sometimes, I would like to see more tests of teamwork. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like you get that only 25% of the programming, and then 75% is still more just like how you do individually and your performances combined making up a team score, you know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, again, you get that with the worm, like you said. You get it with the Big Bob. You can get it more if you're doing more synchro shit, right? Like make things more synchronized. Like I've personally never have been a huge fan of the like, all right, it's 100 reps, like break it up however you want, and like it just becomes this like up down race of individuality, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, you do need to test people individually because it could show a team strength, but it also shows who could be a weak link, you know, so kind of it can expose people. But I would like to see some more 4-person synchro stuff. You know, just like you said, like it just shows who's a better team or who's a team that moves together, who moves well together. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. All right, we're 30 minutes in. Let's segue out of semis, get into some like behind the scenes stuff with Christian Harris. What have you been into lately, music wise? What's your go to so far with training, or just grooving?
Training wise, music.
Training at home. I don't care. It doesn't have to. What's music been hitting for you?
For me right now, Bob Marley's been hitting really hard. I've been waking up every morning throwing the Sonos on, and it's like Three Little Birds to start the day, having my water concoction, having a coffee. It's like just such a I feel like I'm in a movie or something. If like just the way that the day is starting, or like I don't know, it's weird.
All right, Three Birds. I'm gonna try waking up to that tomorrow.
Three
Uh,
Little Birds, yeah.
Three Little Birds. What about you still on your espresso kick?
This week I have been just with it being an off week and just having slower mornings. Yeah.
I mean, you used to be on it like every morning. The I am Chris Harris espresso story post was like a daily given. Like I had to call you to make sure you were still alive if I didn't see that espresso post.
So you know what happened is have the espresso or hop in a cold plunge. So the cold plunge kind of took over my 3 minute little window in the morning.
Your precise morning schedule when you wake up at 4:40 5:02 with 32 seconds.
5:03.
5:03 and 17 seconds when your alarm goes off. Yeah. Blaine had one more. His dream event at the games is a 4x100 sprint with the teams. Yeah, I mean that's gonna.
I've thought about that before too. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, just bring in like the outside sports. They've done in the past a little bit. The baseball toss that was embarrassing that one year in 2013 or whatever.
Never again.
I think we should. I kind of like what Boz is doing with gymnastics. I don't mind us still doing it. Like, go ahead and embarrass the hell out of people and say like, "Yo, better."
Yeah. I actually had us do was it last year? Yeah, I had us do a 4x400 with the little baton pass as like part of our games training.
I was just talking to I think my dad. Yes, the 400. Man, what a kick in the face on that last 100.
Mm-hmm.
What a kick in the face. What if your baton on the 4x400 was like a 15-pound dumbbell? Or like a 25. What if it was like a 53-pound kettlebell you had a front rack while running the 400?
That would be ridiculous.
I'm just being
that's like one of those things like old CrossFit. It would be like that's a classic part of like a partner workout. It's like, oh, go run 400 meters with a 30-pound med ball while I do this and that.
Yeah, when I used to coach, I always was tempted to program a workout where you would do 400-meter runs with box jumps, but on your 400-meter run, you had to like carry the box on the 400 meter. Because am I right or am I right? One of the worst things about training is moving your box onto the floor and then back to like putting it away. Isn't it one of the worst things?
100%. Whether it's the wood box, even the soft boxes, like they're just a pain in the ass. They're so big and cumbersome.
Yeah. Corey says we need the early morning class non-alcoholic beer post from Chris again. Do you know what he's referencing?
We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
What's that? You drinking a non-alcoholic beer at 5 a.m?
Yeah. So a little behind the scenes here. This was one of the things that I had to do for Athletic Brewing, one of my sponsors. Shout out to Athletic Brewing. They wanted me to basically do something where I'm cracking open the beer and drinking it in a public place and getting the people's reaction. So I had the beer set up like by the whiteboard in the gym, and it's probably like 5:15 at this point. I'm going over the workout. I crack open the beer and I'm just like, all right, guys, so we're doing this and that. Then we're going to do this and that and that and that. And just like, people are kind of like looking at each other like, what? What's he doing? So it worked.
You think they knew? You think they knew that it was non-alcoholic just because they know you as their coach? Or did some of them actually think you're drinking a beer?
I think they actually thought I was. Yeah.
I think what would have been better is if you like went to church on a Sunday and was drinking the beer, and
Maybe that's the next one.
that would be the play. That would be the play. All right, NBA. Who you got? Is anyone going to dethrone the Joker for the Denver Nuggets? Is it going to be the Heat or Boston? Well, first off, is Miami going to squeak out of Boston with a win? Because like right now, it's starting to get a little bit.
It's getting dicey for y'all.
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard from Winter. I think she's on a little watch there.
She's staying quiet now. She's staying quiet.
Very quiet. I saw her post from the nosebleeds, like life made at the Heat game.
Yeah.
I guess she brought them bad luck.
Guess how much the nosebleeds? First off, the nosebleeds were standing room only. Guess how much the standing room only were?
800.
Nah, it was over 300. But like still, to stand, not even have a seat, and you're at the very top of the arena, over $300.
That's fucked.
But yeah. Can anyone beat the Joker? His jump shots at the 3-point line, where the ball's essentially behind his head, is just wild.
Ugly looking. Wild.
So ugly. They posted on Instagram saying, like, someone once told me, is it Jokic? That's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
Jokic is like, it's like Jokic is playing in flip-flops. So if you watch his game and you imagine him in flip-flops, it actually looks, you're like, you know what? He is pretty, like, just kind of
AI that on him.
Yeah.
That's coming, I'm sure.
Of course, everything's coming with AI. Gee, oh man. Last question. How about pop culture wise? Anything on your radar that's happened pop culture wise that you're into, that you laugh at, that you think is whack? What's up with those kind of things?
I mean, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the new one.
Okay.
It was really good, but unfortunately I had to cut the movie short because I had dinner reservations, so I couldn't stay for all the end credits. So I kind of ran out of there. But I heard, I can't say it. It's out spoiler.
Would be a spoiler?
Would be a spoiler.
All right, well, on that note.
All right, Star-Lord comes back. You heard it here first.
Oh, shoot, man. You just lost all your followers. Everyone hates you now for doing that. All right, that's that. Congrats on qualifying for the games. Everyone that's listening, check out our YouTube vlogs from the semifinals on our YouTube Move Fast Lift Heavy. Christian, anything else before we go?
The second one is live.
The second one goes live. Is it Friday? Tonight? Yeah, it goes live tonight. So if you're watching on YouTube, like, cool, wait till 8. But I've been saying it, assuming that maybe you're listening on a podcast, which is going to be released on Monday.
Boom.
So if you're listening to the podcast, happy Monday. Have a great week, okay? If you're listening on YouTube right now, hey, happy Friday. Hope you had a great week.
Perfect.
Good? All right, my man. I'm actually going to do some MFLH work right now once we get off this. And everyone else listening, have a great weekend or a great start to your week. Check us out at movefasttubby.com. Got that drop coming up in June. And as always, if you want to train with CH CrossFit style, if you want to pump with CH, get you that bodybuilding aesthetic going for the summer. Wow, summer's coming up real quick. Also has some CrossFit style workout at the end of each one of the sessions. So check out all that, movefastliftheavy.com. Till next time, later.